Or they try to.
What in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
You're now listening to Music Impulse with Smilez.
We got a singer, a songwriter, health wellness, aficionado. I guess I can call her. She's about to drop her debut album, real soon, called "Watch Me While I Bloom." Well, Rebelle Florr in the building. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, of course, anytime. So I met her randomly at a work event. And I was doing my social media thing for the job, and connecting and doing all that stuff. And she was assisting with someone else, her friend, who's a cook. To my lady, like, we're gonna have to do like a date night with her leading the classes and stuff. But because of that, I was connecting on social media through my job, and then me seeing that you did music, I was like, let me check her out. I could have her for my podcast, which is outside of work. So that's how this came to be.
Oh, I didn't even know that was the backstory for you. That day, my friend was on the Good Life show, and I was just like, girl, let me come support you. So I was just wanting to record, and it was an AKA event. I went to a very small private college, so I never got to know what sorority life was like. And going to a predominantly Black sorority and seeing pink, green everywhere, I'm like, I was never an AK, but I love AK stuff.
So yeah, we met at the event and everything. Saw that you were a singer. Then I, recently saw that you posted that you're about to drop your debut album. So I was like, oh, we definitely gotta talk about this. So, but first, let's go with, how'd you get your name?
Okay.
How did you come up with the name Rebelle Florr?
So I was trying to protect my identity online while still coming out and doing music, because sometimes musicians can be looked down upon, and I sometimes focus on the hate I'll receive versus the love. We've been working on that, okay? But I was on SoundCloud, and I didn't want to just use my regular government name because I think my government name is kind of boring. And I had a perfume bottle on my desk that said Rebelle Florr, and Rihanna has that as a tag of some sort that she's just used on the perfume, but spelled differently. Okay. So I was like, how can I trademark something that's my own but still use this? So I just typed that out and it stuck. And I was just anonymous as Rebelle Florr. I probably had 2 SoundCloud listeners. They were probably bots for a year. And I was just putting out songs whenever I make them. After I record them, did whatever, I would just slap it on there just for the sake of, I did it. I'm just getting over my fear and getting out there. And then my friend was over and I played a song just to see what people would do. And someone's like, what is this song? I need to listen to this song. And I was like, actually, it's on SoundCloud. And then my friend, she was like, girl, you need to put this out there. You need to be a little more official with this, my dear. You have a gift. And I was like, oh.
How did you get your start in music? Has this been something you've always wanted to do for years, or just getting to that point where I need to look for a name and come up with a name for myself?
It actually all officially started a year ago, but in a way 2 years ago, because I was anonymous just in my days off from work or late at night, because I used to work night shifts, so I'd just be up on my Mac doing whatever, messing around with GarageBand. And I was just writing songs, but I didn't feel like any of it was that good. And then I made a SoundCloud posting on it, and that's when the friend said, hey, you need to start doing something. And then there was this Musical Masterclass on Instagram,
Okay.
Melissa Mulligan. She reached out to me. She was like, hey, I really like some of the songs that you've been dropping on SoundCloud. You might be interested in my free course. Like, look at these slideshows. So I was like, okay. So it was just kind of like an introduction to music business, just kind of like really basic like artist identity and thinking about logistics, just music business. So I did the free course, and then she DM'd me again. She's like, if you have any, like, do you have any questions, whatever? I'm like, let me go fully through it, and then I'll reach back out. And that was like October 2022.
Okay.
And then come December 2023, her assistant reached out to me and was like, hey, you should really sign up. You should really sign up. Like, we see a light in you. We really believe in you. Like, just try. And I was like, all right. So I joined the 16-week course that taught me how to market on social media myself, like by looking at trends and analytics, and then also looking at also like the business side as well, which is something I kind of had to dive into more because I had published my own music and I know how to copyright.
Okay.
And also like, setting up like your royalties account, like your PRO, like BMI or ASCAP, learning how to set that up and generate it to something. And learning how to mix my own vocals, which a good mix takes a lot of sounding bad to sound good.
Yeah.
And then my friend was telling me, she was like, yo, you should try open mic. And I was like, I've been wanting to do that. And I found this Eventbrite because I'm based out of Dallas.
Yeah.
And I found this place called Chocolate Secrets. Now I was like, what is this place? But it's a chocolate and wine bar, Nut and Triple X. Mm-hmm. And I went. It wasn't a lot of people, but I just started singing. And then, I don't know, around the time that I started going, a lot of people started going. And it just started becoming one of the most popular open mics in Dallas. It was out of Oak Lawn. And we would put on different shows around the Metroplex. And I just did that for a while. I did some festivals where I did background vocals for Damon K. Clark for Juneteenth in the Colony. And then with Musical Mastermind, they invited me out to New York City, where I sang in their Musical Mastermind showcase.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And what was awesome, it was like a hotel, but I got it through Airbnb. They weren't really connected, but I feel like in a way it is. Like Sony, like Interscope was like on the corner, like I had to pass to like get to the venue. And I'm like, man, one day Sony's gonna have to sync license some of my music into their movies or their shows or something. Like, I'm just manifesting. But it's honestly been mainly like a year and a half in the making. It's kind of all new in a way, although I did grow up being musically inclined and being in music groups. So my talent and where it's been cultivated from, that's been years in the making. But as far as what you've seen online, it's been a year.
I could definitely tell you. You took some of the lessons you learned in those classes, even just looking at your social media, because one of the things that stood out to me that I really liked was, I don't know if they're monthly newsletters or whatever, but your breaking news posts that you have on social media. I really thought that was like a really dope idea, and that's like super creative. I was like, breaking news, and then I saw like you had a most. I'm like, these are just like saying like, hey, this is what I got coming up next. This is like the shows I'm going to be at. I'm like, I really do like that.
Yeah, I think about like what makes me interested in stuff, and like that's kind of what like this last year was, but kind of what my goal is, because like I have a booking agency now. Shout out to Star. I've been thinking about like why am I doing it for others? Like, how am I doing this for others? And I'm excited to serve this year because I have a lot of great ideas. I can't tell you all of them today, but the one that's coming up that I've been talking about the most is a start, and I'm super excited.
Okay. That's dope. And I can also tell you've been making waves just over this last year and a half or whatever. I saw you post like your Spotify listen. It was like 11,000 like listens or something like that. So I was like, okay. So she really has been putting in work. That's why I was surprised that you only had like a handful of songs out. I'm like, oh, like she really been putting in work just to have a handful of songs to get that many listens. So you definitely been getting a lot of support. So that's awesome. That's awesome for sure.
I just try to stay grateful, and just let certain things like roll off, because I feel like in 2023 I put out 5 songs, and something that I learned from that is that like I can't like stare at what everyone else is doing, and I have to do my best to stay focused and put blinders on, or I'm just like going to compare myself and then not put something out. And then also to not listening to every piece of feedback that comes into my inbox, that comes from someone on the street, like not taking that like in, because I believe in my art. I'm a critical person. You know, we work on that. But, you know, there's certain things that I know, and I know I have blind spots, but that's why I have a team that tell me. So just being able to decipher through what I need to do, what I need to move forward with, and some things I can be like, okay, I'm gonna just leave that alone. And yeah, it was a lot of work. I have to think open mic and just being open to share my art and share myself with people, because there were people that were like, that song's terrible. Like I have a song like called SOS, and automatically, like I remember I was creating it with Music Mastermind, because that's the, like, I didn't make the beat, but like I remember I brought the beat to them, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna make a song out of, because in our production class and songwriting class, we had to bring a beat and see how much like we worked on it with my songwriting coach.
Okay.
And I showed him the demo, and like I remember him like on Zoom just like this, like listening to it, like, yeah, this is great. And then I put it online, and then someone out of California was like, oh, this is terrible. This mix is so bad. This beat is all over the place. I could have just been like, man, like in the past, like I let things tear me down in the past. I was like, man, like this song sucks, like throw it away. But I didn't listen to that. I said, that's no, good. I like this song. And I wrote that song myself from a real experience. And I'm like,
yeah, because I liked it, because I watched the visualizer earlier.
Thank you. I wrote that from a very raw place of something that was going through. And I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to that person doubting me. I'm gonna go forward with this and see what happens. And SOS, it's not my highest stream song, but that is a fan favorite. Like whenever there's a performance, it feels good because people are singing along with me. Because everyone at some point in their life has felt an SOS moment where it's like, my gosh, like what is going on? Just kind of like what I said, like, God, like save my soul right now. And yeah.
Which, speaking of that, I was going to ask you, what are some of your influences? Because I know, like, first song that I picked out of the ones that I was going to listen to first was Break a Heart. Because I was like, I feel like this title just like, I got to hear this song first. And it actually gave me like Chrisette Michele vibes, which I love me some Chrisette Michele. I remember like when I was in college, when her second album came out, I used to study to that album like a lot. I used to like just put it on, go to the little break room in college and just get my study on. So like I really love like that second album she had. But what were your like some of your influences that you can speak about?
So I have a lot of them. Let me just go through the list in my head. But first of all is Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
I love the gift of how she was able to make people feel through her music. And as soon as you heard her sing on the song, you're like, that's Amy Winehouse. And I grew up listening to her a lot. I got a gift when I was 9 years old when Back to Black came out of the vinyl. And I grew up at my grandma's house because she had an original record player. So I would play the album with my Uncle David. And we would just listen to the album. And I would just lay on the floor. Like, I'm 10. I've never had my heart broken. I was just like, please say goodbye with words. Like crying these lyrics out. But she just made people feel, and I loved how unique her voice is. And another one of my inspirations is also Diana Ross.
Okay.
She's with the Supremes. Like, I need love. Like, I love 60s pop R&B.
Okay.
Because it's so dreamy. And then in terms of sound and sonic, I do R&B. I sing alternative R&B, but I really love rock. Rock is a genre that I love. My husband's a guitarist, And he plays a lot of Jimi Hendrix, so I just naturally hear it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Which segues into one of my like personal favorites. I love Paramore, Hayley Williams.
Oh yeah, Paramore, Hayley Williams.
I really would love to have a rock phase where I'm in my 2009 Vans Warped festival era singing rock music. And Willow Smith, which, you know, there's not a lot of Black girls in rock. And I think it's a very, like, you know, rebellious, bold thing to do. But I love it. Which kind of brings me to like something like I was talking about with my branding agency today, like which brings my name like Rebelle Florr, because in a way my brand's very like has a duality to it, because you just started following me now, but kind of like I can mostly tell you about the aesthetic concept mostly, but it's like there's times where life is pretty, like in the summer and spring, where things are green, pink, things are blooming, it's beautiful, everything smells good. But the rebel part is like, hey, this is reality, this ish sucks. And I use a lot of like reds, a lot of like darkness, because life is both. And that's kind of like where I was going with Watching My Light Bloom, because it's a very pretty aesthetic. It's very much so going for like a modern classic style. But I draw a lot of influences into my album because, like, some of the people, like I was telling you, I'm paying homage to Amy Winehouse. There's a lyric in a song that once the album comes out, you'll hear it, where I talk about Amy Winehouse, where there's a soft rock beat, and there's some people. I'm really nervous about the album, but I don't want to like put any bad energy on it. But I'm really proud of it. In drawing from those influences I told you about, I really hope it transcends, because I love what I've done.
Yeah, so speaking about the album, what would you say like is the sound overall of the project?
Alternative R&B.
Okay.
That carries through all of it, definitely.
Okay. What was it like when you finally like, okay, I'm in album, well, let's create the album. What was that process like for you to actually sit down, like focus, like, okay, we putting this album together, we got to figure out the track listing, we got to figure out what songs are going to flow into what other songs, like what was that process like for you?
So the process was saying, okay, I'm gonna do an album. And I started figuring, I'm like, okay, what do I already have? I saw what I had out, and I was like, okay, what do I like that's out that I'm putting on an album? And then I realized I have 4 really strong songs. So I'm like, that takes up 4 places on the track list. And I was trying to only do 10 songs. And I'm like, man, how can I just like fit some more? So I went into my vault, and songs that I liked or a message that I was trying to convey, I just developed them more, mixed them. Some that I threw out as well. There was one song I was going to include on the track list, but the production, like in terms of like the beat wise, there was something that was off to me in my mind, and it made me so frustrated that I scrapped it. And I was like, man. And I did the first mix and sent it off to my distributor, and I was like, all right, people are just going to get what they're going to get from me. It is what it is. But then I was talking with a friend, because people are like, you are in too much of a good place to put out a bad mix. And I'm like, dang, they're right. So I decided to part ways with that distributor and scrap that album, make sure I pay for a legacy, and I moved to a new distributor I'm with now, which is CD Baby.
Okay,
and,
I've heard of CD Baby.
I like CD Baby a lot. And I was like, okay, let me actually really mix this album. And certain songs, I'm like, I don't know what I need to do. I'm just gonna outsource and send it to someone that can mix and master. And I sent it to my friend.
The mixes can hurt or break you, so you gotta make sure.
And that's why I was like, I need to do what I'm gonna do. So I emailed my friend David Sonia, and I said, hey, I have this song. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Please help me. So he's like, okay, I got you. And then here was a wild card, which this is a really funny story. So sometimes there's a lot of producers that will send me beats like, hey, try this, put this on this, whatever. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not. But this guy, he somehow got my information. I'm like, who are you? I don't even follow you. But then I played a beat, and it was the first beat on like the group of 5 Cent. And I instantly was like, captivated by it. It was like a guitar with like an 808, really simple, but like you could definitely like write down and like bob your head to it.
You like, oh, I get some lyrics right now.
Yes. So I never buy a beat unless I know I can put something over it. You know what I mean? Because I don't like buying a beat and then me and it don't match and then I'm down $75.
Yeah, and it just sits there.
Right. So I made something and I sent it to him like, hey, I'll buy this off you if you'll mix it and master it. So he's like, all right. It was Christmas time. He was feeling generous. So he gave me a really good deal. So I'm like, all right. Because he knows I'm independent.
Okay.
And come to find out, this is like a platinum award winning producer, Aaron Devon. And I'm like, I didn't realize who I was talking to. Like, he called me on the phone and everything. He was like, hey, I'm in the studio. We're going to mix this. When do you want it by? Because that's when I, like, you know, was in the midst of mixing my album. And I said, you know, if you can have it to me by like a couple weeks and I can send it on the album, that'd be great. So he mixed it and I was able to put it in.
But I want to get to the meaning behind the title of Watch Me While I Bloom. How'd you come up with the title and what does it mean to you?
What it means to me is, so like growing up, I had a lot of doubt, a lot of self-doubt. I would compare myself and I just didn't feel good enough where I was. I grew up in a really small town and I just watched certain people get clout and I'm like, I like, y'all get clout and I can't. And I've been doing my things. Like I've sang my whole life. I've been around, but I just didn't feel like I was in the proper environment for me to shine. I just always felt like it was taken from me, or if I was in a talent contest, I would never win. And it really like got to me. And I never just felt like I could bloom. Because like the flower, if I'm using my metaphors, like I was. And there's a song off of a Hayley Williams album called Watch Me While I Bloom, off of Petals Off of Armor. And what she was saying, like, if you want to look inside of me and watch me bloom, there's way more to me. I have to read you the lyrics. It's just really beautiful. But it's more of like, watch me flourish. This is a really good question. It stumped me. I'm having to explain my brand so much, but
no worries.
It's more like watching me grow. And I want the listener, I want a takeaway, which is like why I'm saying, like, I want to do things for others this year. I want people to realize, like, it doesn't matter what situation you've come from. It doesn't matter if when you were a kid you had self-doubt. It doesn't matter if where you once were, where your roots were once planted. If it didn't work there, if you pick up your roots and you go somewhere else and you plant yourself in good soil that's for you, you're gonna bloom. And essentially, that's kind of what I did. I was not a fan of my hometown. I honestly, to this day, I don't know if my hometown will ever ride for me.
I was like, I understand that love-hate for your hometown, because I'm from Akron, Ohio, and I'm like, it wasn't for like my mom and my sisters, and I really wouldn't go back home.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But it wasn't until I moved to Dallas that I felt like, whoa, I feel like somebody. And essentially, in this album, I was finding my confidence truly during creating it. Because it's really scary to, one, be a new artist, not have a lot of experience, because a lot of people doubted me. Because people would like say, listen to certain stuff or see my numbers or see me and assign whatever to me, because I'm a woman in music and people like to assume. But I was like, I put on my blinders. I have a goal. I knew what I wanted to do. So and then remember, this kind of brings me back to Musical Mastermind, because I told them, I'm like, I want to put out an album. And they're like, well, no one knows you yet, which that made sense. No one knew me. But I spent most of the year from January to August putting out songs. I put out 4 or 5. They got really good feedback. And I said, why not an album? Why not? And it was really pushing past like my own traumas, my own self-doubt, saying, hey, have enough confidence in yourself and your voice and your sound and your gifts and your ability, your God-given gifts, and just do it. And you know, I prayed a lot, meditated a lot, talked a lot with my family, my loved ones, like, yo, can I do this? And I have such a supportive group around me that really uplifts me and loves me. Because it was scary saying like, hey, I'm gonna also do music now, because I have 2 careers. I work in healthcare and I do this. you know, it's
And then
challenging.
on top of having a relationship, being married.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh my goodness. But you know, I'm tough as nails. I'm a Texas girl. And even that aside, you know, I'm relentless.
That's dope. That's dope. So with the album, besides the songs that's already out, what are some of your favorite tracks that you're looking forward to people hearing or like hearing feedback? Is there like one or two tracks that you like? I really can't wait to hear people hear this one, or is like a couple songs that's like your favorite. Like, yes, this ain't came out yet, but this is like my favorite one that I recorded. Any tracks on the project that you're waiting for?
Oh yeah. Yes. There's two of them. These two songs, I have to shout out this producer. His name is Wonderful Zay on Instagram. His prod name is hard to say, I'm not gonna lie, but it starts with a K, but Wonderful Zay, that's him. He produced my song Transformando featuring Natalie Robles, which is like a bossa nova trap beat.
Okay.
Talking about some, like my favorite lyric of it is like, I was a butterfly dreaming to fly. No, I was a caterpillar dreaming to fly. Because that's true. And then another song is the self-titled track, Watch Me While I Bloom. It's kind of, I can't say too much about it because people are, it's going to be a fun song, but one thing I can say, it's like a game of telephone.
Okay.
You have to listen to it.
Okay, I'm intrigued about hearing this now, so I can give you the feedback. Like, okay, did I get the right interpretation?
I'm being really vague, but I'm so excited to drop the project. I would drop it today, but I can't. I really am excited for people to hear it when it's heard, because whenever I talk to someone like, oh yeah, I have an album coming out, and they're like, when? And I'm like, January 26th. And they're like, that's my birthday. And I'm like, my album's in Aquarius, so.
My album's in Aquarius. My album's in Aquarius. I like that.
Period.
But let's see what else. Oh, I definitely want to. Well, before we switch, I wanted to mention like some of my favorite tracks, or basically that I've heard so far. Out of the tracks where I really like Scum. I was sad it was so short. I was like, it's like only like a minute long. I want to hear more. Like, so I really did like Scum. Break a Heart was definitely one. After I listened to it, I played it back because, like I said, I got Chrisette Michele vibes. So I was like, oh, okay, I like this. And then I liked how it flowed right into the Breaker interlude. And then Evergreen, I like. And then who was that speaking at the end, or was that like something you pulled from the internet, or like? But I really liked Evergreen.
So that's Ania Williams. So I started following him during COVID because he would like go viral for saying like the most unhinged things, but they were like real. And I've just watched.
Because I was entertained by what I was entertained by what he said. I was like, I wonder if it's like a friend of hers, or maybe she just pulled like a clip or something.
Yeah, so it started someone from the internet, but I always commented on his stuff, and I've been there since the beginning. So he follows me back.
Okay, that's dope.
Like on different platforms. So I DM'd him. I sent him an email. I'm like, I didn't really give him a choice. I said, hey, you're in a song. I'm giving you a split, so you can't sue me. So here you go. And then
you're getting points off my project. So you know.
And then actually what was cool, I was chatting with him the other night. I was like, yeah, I wrote a song about you. He was like, oh yes, what I love to hear. And I'm like, yeah, Evergreen. So yeah. So yes, it's from the internet, but we're like neutrals.
That's dope. I like that. And the fact that you reached out to him was like, hey, I'm just letting you know, like, took your voice for something, but I'm just letting you know, I'm gonna make sure you straight. More coins for me means more coins for you.
That's so true. And then as for Scum, just wait for the album. That's all I can say. Just wait.
Okay.
Wait. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm holding so much back, and it's taking so much strength. But when it comes out, everyone's gonna be like, oh, and I'm gonna be like, and then also too, it's just like, in this album, I really feel like I matured through the process of writing it, because I wrote a lot of this stuff when I went through a difficult situation. And I'm just looking back at reading the lyrics I wrote, listening to my voice grow over the course of the project. it's just like it's maturity. I'm not gonna lie, there's parts of the project where I'm petty as hell, but
everybody got a little petty in themselves.
A little petty, just a little. But I'm excited for people to hear the project because it's independent, it's self-made with the help of some friends and some producers and people in this music business that believe in me, and that feels good.
That's dope. Yeah, because like I said, you got dope music, and so
Thank you.
you definitely got to make sure you keep promoting, and keep get out there doing the shows and all that and everything. Doing, like I said, just from looking at your social media, I was like, she's doing a really good job. I was shocked to hear you say that. I've only been doing this like a year and a half. So, but I can see, like you said, taking those classes and everything. I can see you definitely took everything that you learned seriously, and like, hey, I'm about to put this all into action. Definitely.
I
definitely want to also get into like your health and wellness lifestyle. But let's talk about how you got into that and why is it so important to you? Because I actually interviewed someone else. Her name is Lethal. She's a rapper. She's really into like health and wellness, and like since then, like our interview was basically about how she's like, because she's changing as a person, her like lyrics have changed like as a rapper, because she was like, yeah, it's like, people like, I got my name Lethal was like, I was coming raw, I was calling myself a bad bitch, I was like cussing a lot of shit, but as I kept evolving as a person and getting into like my health and wellness and being like she has like a company called Fine and Alkaline and all that thing, she was like, my lyrics started changing because it's like, I can't be rapping about the stuff, my spirit is not really in that mood of how like I was rapping. And like now we talked about, because she her project actually just dropped today on the 11th, but I'm getting rid of the name Lethal. Like after this project, she's going by her real name, Silita Marcelette. She was like, yeah, it's like, I'm shedding that Lethal name. Like, I'm not Lethal no more. She's like, I'm still gonna be rapping, but she's like, just because I don't want that name to be attached to like negativity and the old her. And she was like, basically like, blooming into like a whole new person, like by going by her real name.
I love the adjective and the verb of just to bloom into something to grow, like the natural cycle of growth and decay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Neezy here. I wanted to make sure that y'all go and get your Naturally Nay Instant Moisture Duo. That's right, this Instant Moisture Duo can be used on braids, locks, twists, beards, and all of your natural hair. The moisturizer is all natural ingredients. One of our key ingredients, aloe vera. Aloe vera is really great for your scalp. And our oil blend is a mixture of the best oils that you can use to promote hair growth and give your hair a good shine and overall just a natural glow. So you're getting two amazing products. Make sure you go to inaudibleruckus.com/naturallynay. And also you can follow us on Instagram at naturally_nay, NAEE.
You say you needed me more, but you gave less. I felt paralyzed by the stress. I've been detached, things fell away. Living out of my head, rent is high up here. It's solitude inside, girls return to I let you go. And you hold on to me, wishful thinking and ruminating. All these toxic daydreams of you and me. A back of a nation, yeah. If we were at sea in this love's ocean. just listening to me about it. The past, it was rough, but you know it made me tough. I'm letting you know you can hate me, but I want you to know you don't play with me. If you wanna break a heart, break your own. I don't need your name in my mind, no, no. If you wanna break a heart, break your own. If you wanna break a heart, you wanna break a heart, you wanna break a heart, then break your own. If you wanna break a heart, you wanna break a heart, you wanna break a heart, then break your own. You made me wanna break your ankle. You dodging the flick, you know it's game over.
It's truly like, yeah.
Oh, but basically, I just wanted to like talk like about your health and wellness and
yes.
your lifestyle. Like, let's
Oh.
speak about that and why is that so important to you?
So it all just kind of goes back to like how I was raised, to be honest. So it starts with I was raised inside of a denomination called Seventh-day Adventism.
Okay,
And
I've heard that.
in Seventh-day Adventism, there's a big health message, a part of lifestyle. And pretty much what it is just to treat your body like a temple by eating good foods that refresh you, things that fuel you, and what we believe by like a diet. Like I didn't grow up eating pork. I didn't eat anything that was unclean, because in the Bible it says like don't eat anything with like the split hoof. So just like, I mostly, if I did eat meat, I ate clean meat like chicken, fish, turkey, beef, that kind of stuff. But I was vegetarian most of my life. I had a milk allergy growing up, so I was always like on soy milk or oat milk or whatever. And my mom, like my doctors were always like, yeah, she's underweight, and all this other stuff by just like understanding like my own health from a very young age and why it's important to treat your body well. I just kind of like brought that with me because I learned a lot about that inside of church. And then whenever there was a health class in school, I always took it pretty seriously, like learning about different viruses and being sick. And then when I got done with school, grade school, went through high school, went to college, I went to nursing school.
Okay.
And where I just further learned more about health and all the different diseases that are honestly such a big bummer. And this is kind of like another thing that I like to do a comparison of, because I've just studied it with myself, is what you put into your body, like how you eat really affects your mind. Like when I eat a lot of junk food, I drink a lot of sugar, processed stuff, my skin's crap, my hair's brittle, I'm anxious AF, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then I had this friend she was a vegan. She cooked really well. Like she knew how to make these like tofu nuggets where you put it in flour, you get like some chicken bouillon, you salt it really well, and you like fry it. It tasted pretty good. So I was like, okay, I will try being vegan for 1 month and see if it's better than being on antidepressants. I'm tired of taking a Prozac and drinking iced coffee. I'm tired. Yeah. So I like detoxed my system of that, and I just started eating a vegan diet. I went for 3 months like that.
Okay.
I have never been so smart in my life. Like I felt so smart. But I don't think being vegan personally for me is sustainable. Because like I was mentioning, like I've been like, I'm a petite person. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I gotta have my protein. And
like I got a friend, homie E-Ray, and his lady, they went vegan for like 4 years. I think it was like about 4 years, but like he's super into like fitness and working out, and he was saying like he knows that even though he was eating good, he knows like his muscle mass and stuff was going away, and he wasn't as strong as he used to be. So he was like, I had to incorporate that meat back into, like, they don't eat it as much as like he used to, but he was like, I got like you said, get that protein in your body and all that, just because he was like, yo, I'm losing my muscle mass.
Yeah. So I went back to like thinking about like what my mom did for me, because my mom studied a lot. So you can get a lot of protein through beans, nuts, of course in granola. That's a part of the nuts. What was the other one that you can get the protein from? Oh, eggplant. Like different things, like different vegetables you could get protein from, but you have to like pack it on. Yeah. And also like add a lot of carbs. Like I enjoy the science of food which is kind of like how you met me, because my friend, she's a chef,
Yeah.
and she's so wicked smart when it comes to food and techniques and chemistry and science, because that's what food really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. And then also too, when it comes to exercising, I haven't been exercising a lot as much as I wish with doing all this whole album stuff. But when just in my natural life, when I'm not doing music, one thing that's a big stress reliever for me is I like to run.
Okay.
I'm a runner. I love just to be able just to like let my steam out, like put like on some like Megan Thee Stallion, some Drake, and just run. Or, oh, there was a song, my favorite running song. I remember when the motto came out when I was like in 8th grade, and I had my iPod Nano, and I would be running like the 5-mile thing for like cross country, like I'm the fucking man, and do it. Like, so that's my favorite running song. But when it comes to health and wellness, it's kind of like why I like I don't want to say like I wouldn't do it online anymore, but I just feel like health and wellness looks different for everybody. It's not like a one size fits all. It's like, oh, what I do is going to heal you and cure you. No, because like bringing a little bit of like my other industry I work in, like nursing, I see people come back to the hospital time and time again where I know them by a first name basis. Yeah, truly, like ask any nurse, like there's repeat offenders, and it's not because like they're not caring about their health. It's just that's a whole other long conversation. It's a lot of hospital politics, money, being able to keep morale, all that kind of stuff. And but the reason why I do it, because being a nurse, like being a singer and being in music business is hard, but being in healthcare, and you just have to have tough skin.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna see a lot. And I saw COVID firsthand. Because I graduated in the pandemic. I graduated in 2021.
I got a friend who did that too. Because I remember her telling me like a lot of people in her class or whatever that she graduated. She was like, a lot of people past the pandemic quit nursing because they were like, "Yo, this was too much for me."
It was a lot. It was definitely a lot. Because the thing is, I don't want to like bum it out too much, but I just remember certain experiences of like asking people like to keep on their oxygen, and they wouldn't, because when you get hypoxic and there's not enough air getting to the body or to your brain cells die when you don't have air, because the brain is aerobic. And that's aerobic through our nose and our throat, like all that stuff. Anyway, they just, the first to go is usually your reasoning, which is like your frontal lobe. And I couldn't reason with certain patients. I'd be like, I try to go sit down, chart on them, and I'll have to sit in the doorway to keep their get them to keep their airway on. And sometimes because people found it like so like scary, anxiety provoking, and like, they're scared, like something's going on with them, like, and they take it off. And then
especially early days is like, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand this.
Yeah, and that the same goes for any patient that goes into the hospital, because truly, like, people are sick and they're not in their right minds, And I hate sometimes how I'm treated, but I know when I'm sick or when I'm moody, how I feel, I'm like, oh, okay. But of course, there are some people that in the past were like, if they were like really mean to me, I just go and tell someone like, I can't deal with that anymore. Get another nurse, please, so I can remain professional. Because that's why like I feel like I'm really good at organizing, or my communication skills are strengthened as well, because I'm not 100% communication all the time, but it's because I have to use so much, like mediating skills to talk to people. And I just know how to be neutral or indifferent in situations while seeing both sides.
Well, that's good. And I know that all kind of translates again to the music and your personality and all that. So I like that. Definitely gonna understand how it's a struggle. Also, didn't have to deal with those type of patients. It's like, I gotta put on this face, or I'm gonna have to get old girl that I'm working with to hand to you, because I might get out of character and cuss you out.
And I like my job. I can't lie, I do. Like, it's hard, but from when I was very young, it kind of goes back into like my history. I didn't know I wanted to be a singer. Like I would sing in the shower, I would sing in talent shows, whatever, in choir. But I didn't believe in myself, although I wanted to do it, because I told myself I need to make money because I like nice things. I truly do. And the starving artist trope, it's not cute.
Yeah.
It's not cute at all. And so I was like, as a kid, I didn't think, I'm like, I can't be two things. I have to just choose one and go with it. I have a pretty practical mind when it comes to things. And then I still sang and stuff in college here and there. Like I studied abroad for a semester in college. I went to Valencia, Spain, Sagunto, Spain, specifically, a small town.
Okay,
and,
how was that?
It was amazing. I went there to learn Spanish.
Okay.
It was really dope. I liked it a lot. I got to travel a lot of places. And also, I was singing over there. I was mostly singing for church, singing Christian music. And it would take me to different towns. I was in a music group. It wasn't just me. I was singing in a group with more than a couple friends, like 4 other friends that we just like to sing. Mm-hmm. And we would go to different places and we'd sing. And if something wasn't good, we'd be like, okay, let's fix this and have practice. And it was dope. So I'm like, wow, my voice could even make waves over there, which felt good. But came back, went to nursing school. I didn't really do much music because nursing is a lifestyle when you're in nursing school.
Yeah.
And then, but I grew up in the same hometown like most of my life. I went to the same college in the hometown I went to. So mind you, college was like grade school 3.0. Like I'd known these mofos for years, okay? Mm-hmm. And they knew I could sing, but they knew I wasn't doing that anymore. So there was we were having a nursing penny, and the person that was supposed to sing backed out. And then they came to me, they're like, please, could you sing? Please, 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 please. Please sing a song. Please sing something. And so I was like, oh, they're begging me. Okay, we can do this. So I sang. And it felt really good, I sang. And then people reached out to me like, hey, will you sing the national anthem? Will you do this? And I just kind of left them on red. Looking back at it, it kind of came across maybe rude, but I didn't mean it like that at the time. Because when I was in nursing school, I was not active on social media. I was not active in my messages. The thing I was worried about was passing my classes and surviving.
Yeah, like I don't have time for all that.
I didn't make time for it because the thing about music also too, I dealt with at times, like, you know, music can like bring a lot of ego out of people. It can like what I was saying earlier, like music evokes emotion. You know, certain personalities working together, being together can really be challenging. Because I remember there was this music group that I was asked to be a part of, and I said, okay. And this was like before I was in nursing school, like in my pre-nursing school days. And I was in this music group, and they would want to practice really late at night, like 11 to 12. And I lived off campus. I had a curfew. I was still living at my mama and dad's house. So I was like, if it hit a certain time, I'm like, yo, I gotta go. Because I'm not trying to get kicked out and be homeless. You know what I mean? They don't care about what I do. They pay my bills. They just ask if I'm home on time. Like, you know?
Like, Mom, I gotta go sing. What? At 11 o'clock at night?
My mom is also, actually, we'll get into that. My mom's actually also a singer.
Okay.
Yeah, but
That's dope.
It wasn't
the family.
Yes. So, and I remember like there was one night I said I had to go, and then like some girl went off on me, and she went off on me because they felt like I wasn't socializing with the group, or I was like always rushing out, and they want to hang out with me. They like my personality, but I didn't really give them like the time of day. I guess it kind of was like that's how they felt from me, although that wasn't my intention. But I literally was a humble alto when there was like 6 others. I'm like, why y'all tripping on me? But I remember that was so rude. Like I remember like it made me cry, like how like much they like got on me. And then I quit that music group after that. They're like, hey, like we're sorry, we didn't mean for that to happen. But I was just like, no, I'm a believer. When someone shows me their true colors, just believe them and move on. Oh, I did. And after I left, I noticed a lot of other people left the group, and then the group truly, it actually wasn't the same after I left, which kind of brings me back to like another origin story. So my mom, she's kind of the reason why I am the way I am, because like I said, I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, And my mom, she was usually like the music director for the church, like organizing choir, music groups. She get invited to sing at other churches, like that different stuff. So from very, very young, like my mom, like there's a picture of my mom holding me when she's like singing like a solo, like in church. Like I'm like right there with my mom. Oh my God!
I need to get you to stop crying, and she's singing to the whole congregation.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. It's so true. And I was just able to be around so many different musicians very young. My mom, she was able to sing like background for like different people, but a group that was like a small, I don't even call them small because they sold a lot of CDs, but she had some friends that had albums out or that were in the music Christian gospel circuit. So we sing to their concerts, we go there, it'd be a show. I've been around it. And when I was about, I want to say 5, I got to be like the lead angel in like a Christmas pageant for singing. I got to sing something. And that was cool. And then I started being in an adult choir when I was like 9, 10. Because my mom, like I was already there with my mom. So they're like, you might as well sit down and sing, girl. We need a soprano. Because truly I'm a soprano, but I feel like I need to be better about being confident. Singing the soprano can be a little bit boring.
Okay.
A little bit boring. And then
I just
didn't feel like my higher register, I didn't like how it sounded for the longest time, but I think that's me being self-critical. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, I was doing that for a while. And then when I went to high school, I was in honors choir. I also played clarinet. I play instruments.
Okay.
I played clarinet.
I played flute and trombone.
That's dope. I love the flute. And the trombone, they're like, and it seems like it's always the same note.
Yeah.
It just always sounds like the same note. But this is also the thing which brings me back to like present day. There's a lot of things I know how to do. I know to play instruments and stuff like that. And that's actually a hurdle I'm going to be hopping over this year, is playing more instruments out in the open in public with my sets, because I am good at what I do, but being around other musicians can sometimes, I guess, make me feel a little intimidated at times. Because something that I've noticed, and this just may be like me being a little fixated, I don't know, but it just seems like singers aren't taken seriously if you just sing.
Yeah.
Like that's how it feels. But if I'm a singer that can play an instrument, it feels better. And the reason why I'm starting to like segue to this route is because if I can play for myself, I don't have to depend on other musicians, which kind of brings me to like more of a business aspect. I don't have to split the pot as thin.
That's good. That's great. But to wrap it up, just had a couple little fun music questions, just to kind of wrap it up. So, what is one song you remember growing up, or that maybe out now, that just reminds you of the summer?
The summer?
Yep.
Put Your Records On by Corey Bailey Ray.
Okay. And then the other one is just more of another fun one, being a singer yourself. If you could collab with 2 other singers, dead or alive, who would they be?
It has to be singers. Can rappers be included?
Yeah, you can, if you want to do rappers too.
I would love to collab with Linda Soul. She is a rapper out of Chicago.
Okay.
And then I would have loved to have done a song with Marvin Gaye.
Okay, Marvin Gaye. Okay.
My favorite song by him is Love and Happiness.
Love and Happiness.
Like, I would cover more of that, but the thing is, you get copyrighted every time you try and take an instrumental offline. So I'm like, you can't see, but like I have my little like travel studio over here.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, how do I transpose some of this? So 2024, what people are going to see from me, there's going to be more events, music, and just really blooming and just showing more of myself even more, because I just gave people kind of surface level. Like, it was mostly just a start, and I'm happy to share.
That's dope. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to hear this out. But we can wrap it up by, giving the folks your social media and whatever else you want to let them know about, and we can wrap it up.
Okay, well, my name is spelled in a really funny way, but please tag it down below. I'm Rebelle Florr with an extra R on Instagram, and that's pretty much my name across all platforms. Please make sure to stream Watch Me While I Bloom. It's going to be on all streaming platforms, Amazon Music, Tidal, you name it, it's going to be there.
All right. Nice. Well, this is your boy Smilez. I'm here with Rebelle Florr. This has been another episode of the Music Impulse, and that's a wrap.
Cool beans. Well,